For the third video of the random acts of crochet kindness, we'll be making the sun. It's a very quick project and it works up fairly quickly. You will be needing a 4mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, some yellow yarn. I'll be using black yarn for the facial features, and you will also need some stuffing. We'll start off with the magic circle. And make 6 single crochets in the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pull on the tail, close the circle, and I would slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to make 2 single crochets in each of the 6 stitches of round 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So at the end of round number 2, you're going to have a total of 6 single crochets, since we've increased in each of the stitches of round number 1. For round number 3, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to increase in every second stitch. That means that you're going to start off with 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the next. One single crochet in the next, and 2 single crochets in the next. This is going to be a pattern for round number 3, 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets in the next. Continue with this pattern and I'll meet you at the end of round number 3. Okay, so I've reached the end of round number 3 and I'm going to slip stitch in the first stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and for round number 4 I am going to increase in every third stitch. So you're going to make 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. One single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, and 2 single crochets in the next. This is going to be a pattern for round number 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. At the end of round number 4, you're going to have a total of 24 single crochets, So continue making your round number 4 and I'll meet you at the end of round number 4. I've reached the end of round number 4 and I'm going to close this round with a slip stitch. And I'll chain 1 and make 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to increase in the 4th one. So 1 and 2. 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and an increase in the 4th one. So 1 and 2. This is going to be our pattern for round number 5, that we are going to increase in every 4th stitch. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, increase. Finish round number 5 and I'll meet you at the end of round number 5, and we'll have a total of 30 stitches by the end of round number 5. Okay, so I'm done with round number 5. I'm going to close this round with a slip stitch. And for round number 6, you're going to make 1 single crochet in each of the 30 single crochets you've made. So round number 6 is 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Make round number 6. If the video is too fast for you, please slow it down or pause it, and then I'll see you at the end of round number 6. I've reached the end of round number 6. Slip stitch to close your round. Okay, for round number 7, we are going to work in the front loops only. The front loop is the loop that is more closer to you. You have a V in your stitch. The front loop is the one that's more closer to you. So you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into the second stitch from the hook, you're going to make a slip stitch. In the next stitch, you're going to make a single crochet. And in the last stitch, you're going to make a half double crochet. You're going to skip the next stitch and you're going to slip stitch into the next one, and you're going to make another slip stitch in the front loop of the very next stitch as well. Then you're going to chain 4 again, and you're going to do the same thing we did before on this side. You're going to slip stitch into the second stitch from the hook, a single crochet in the next stitch, and a half double crochet into the next. You're going to skip the next stitch, and the next stitch you're going, in the front loop, you're going to slip stitch, and into the very next stitch again you're going to make a slip stitch in the front loop, and you're going to chain 4 again. Slip stitch into the second stitch from the hook, single crochet in the next, and a half double in the next, skip the next stitch, slip stitch in the front loop of the very next stitch, another slip stitch in the front loop in the stitch right next to it, and chain 4 again. Again, slip stitch into the second stitch, single crochet in the next, a half double in the next, skip the next stitch, slip stitch into the first front loop of the next stitch, and another slip stitch in the front loop of the very next stitch, and chain 4 again. So as I've mentioned before, that you're going to work this round into the front loops only. If you have any difficulties, any questions, please write them down in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer them. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the front loop of the next stitch, and another slip stitch into the front loop of the very next stitch, and I'm going to make another ray by chaining 4. This is going to be our pattern for this round. Once you reach the end of the round, that's when I'll meet you. Okay, so I've reached the end of the round and made my last ray. I have a total of 2 stitches left, out of which I'm going to skip one and slip stitch into the next one. And then I'm going to make a slip stitch at the bottom of my first ray. I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to make I'll be working in the back loops of my stitches now, and I'll be making 1 single crochet in each of the back loops of the stitches of round number 7. So make your single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. This is going to leave you with 30 single crochets at the end of the round. Okay, so I'm done making single crochets in the back loops. Now we are going to start decreasing. We are going to chain 1. We are going to make 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. That is going to be 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to make an invisible decrease. Invisible decrease is when you take the front loop of 2 stitches, yarn over, pull up 1 loop. You've just turned 2 different stitches into 1 stitch. This is going to be our pattern for this round. You're going to make 3 single crochets, and then you're going to decrease. 3 single crochets, and then you're going to decrease. Three single crochets, and then you're going to decrease. Continue with your decreases for the rest of this round. That's going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. Three single crochets, and a decrease. I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and I have excuse me, I have a total of 24 single crochets at the end of this round. Now the next round is also going to be a round of decreases. I'm going to chain 1, make 2 single crochets in each of the next 2, like 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then a decrease. One single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then a decrease. 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and a decrease. This is going to be a pattern for this round. Continue with this round and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm done with my second round of decreases, and I have a total of 18 single crochets at the end of this round. This is what my work looks like from the back, and this is where I'm going to start stuffing it. We're not going to overstuff it because we don't want our stitches to stretch or our finished product to be very stiff and stretchy. Stuff it and move the stuffing with your finger inside so that you cover the whole round. You can even use the back of your hook to push the stuffing in and make it sit well. Okay, so our third round of decreases is going to be slightly tricky if you're a beginner. You will have to use one of your fingers to hold the stuffing down so that it does not come in between your stitches. You're going to make 1 single crochet and a decrease in the next. 1 single crochet and a decrease. One single crochet and a decrease. One single crochet and a decrease. One single crochet and a decrease. Make sure to put your finger on the stuffing so that it does not hinder your stitches. At the end of this round, I have a total of 12 single crochets left. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to make a round of decreases. That means that you're going to have a total of 6 single crochets at the end of this last round of decreases. Slip stitch into the first stitch, pull up a loop, cut your yarn, now what we're going to do is that we are going to close this hole by going in the stitches, go in, come out from the next, go into the next, come out from the next, go into the next, come out from the next, go into the next, and come out from the next. Once you've done this, you pull on your yarn and it closes the hook, the hoop, the loop you had in between, or the hole. Then you're going to fasten off, and take your yarn in between your work once or twice before you cut it off. Okay, so this is what our sun looks like so far. Now let's put in our black yarn in the yarn needle. Now you're going to identify the stitch you want your smile to be in. I want my smile to be a slight V. So I'm going to go in from the back, and work my needle to the front, to the stitch I want my smile to start from. Here we go. I'm not going to pull out my yarn all the way because I want to leave a little bit at the back over here, and I'm going to hold it with my finger. I'm going to go in this next stitch and come out where I want my V to end, the V smile. Then I'm going to go back in the same stitch again, and I'm going to come out where I want my eyes to be. There you go. If you want to use safety eyes, you can use safety eyes. If you want to use beads, felt, whatever you want to use, I'm just going to make one stitch for my eye. After doing my second eye, I am going to go back out at the back here, where I came out initially. I'm going to make a knot here because I don't want my eyes and smile to be undone. You can even put a dab of glue at the end. After making the knot, I'm going to cut the yarn quite close to the knot. I'm going to go in the stitch right next to it, and I'm going to pull these threads inside. There you go. We're done with our sun. Hope you liked it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. It would help me immensely, and I would be coming up with a lot of quick, sweet little amigurumi projects real soon. I hope to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.